So Tucker Carlson interviews Nick Fuentes, and the media, they're going ballistic over this, especially conservative media. But I'm sitting back here laughing my ass off because this is great. This is fantastic. We need more interviews like this. Now, I was checking the view count here on YouTube for this one interview, and Tucker Carlson has over 4 million views on this video alone, over 500 and some odd thousand. Can I talk today? Over 500 some odd thousand comments. Can't get the words out. But I had a chance to sit down and go through this interview. And the National Review has come out with an article claiming that Tucker Carlson was just giving this guy softball questions. Well, the whole purpose of an interview is to converse with somebody. You don't want to make them feel uncomfortable. Yeah, you should, ask tough questions sometimes, but you have to balance that out, right? Now, I'm not a fan of Nick Fuentes. His brand of quote-unquote conservatism or whatever he believes in doesn't appeal to me personally. But he said something today that really struck me, and that is that when he got banned from all these platforms, and he was on the no-fly list for having his own view, I mean, seriously? I mean, that's like something out of Stalinistic Russia. But he said something that really struck me, which was he didn't have a lot of followers in the beginning, or he went out there and tried to do his own thing. And he said, if I have to be out here in the wilderness by myself, I'm just paraphrasing here, I'd much rather do that and do my own thing than have to be part of Conservative Inc. or Liberal Inc. And that's the way that the media should be thinking. Go out there and do your own thing. Have fun. So yes, some of the things he said have been controversial. There's no question about that. But it's really funny to see you people, get your underwear in a bunch here because this guy is, or Tucker Carlson is interviewing this guy. But for some reason, he appeals to a certain demographic. He's tapping into something. He has a connection like Trump did. I mean, I didn't vote for Trump, but like Trump, he has a connection with the people who are following him. And the big thing that came up in this interview, they spent a large chunk talking about this, is his views on Israel. And I agree with this, that we shouldn't be giving all this money, whether it's Israel or it's Egypt or Iran, you name the country. All fair is game with me, okay? We shouldn't be giving all these countries our money. Where is it written in our Constitution that we have to be the policemen of the world or that we have to fund these other countries? That's not a requirement of the Constitution. But for some reason, somewhere along the line, conservatives thought this is what you have to do. And even some liberals, this is what you have to do. You have to support Israel. You have to support this country. You have to support that country. BS. There's nothing, again, in the Constitution that states we have to do so. And I think the real problem here isn't Nick Fuentes. Again, I am no fan of Nick Fuentes, and he may have some views that are a little far out for people. But that's the whole purpose of free speech, the whole purpose of debate. To have those views that aren't so savory. Purpose of the First Amendment is to protect in polite speech. And you don't make yourself look good calling yourself a conservative or a liberal. And I'm just curious, I've asked this before. What exactly are you conserving? What are you liberating? People are saying, oh yeah, Nick Fuentes, he's a white supremacist. Well, if that's the case, then we can say the same thing about the founders of this thing called the United States, who in the beginning wanted to have their own place for white men. You see, they wanted basically a second Europe without a king. That's what they wanted, was a second Europe or second Britain without a king. one where they were represented by the people of these colonies. The government was there to represent them, to work on their behalf, unlike under the monarchy. That's what they wanted. Now, that may seem racist to us now, here in the 21st century, but in the 1770s, 1780s, 1790s, that was a real issue. Because, again, they were under the thumb of the king before the American Revolution, or during the American Revolution. They were trying to escape monarchical rules, what they were trying to do. And they had their policies about immigration. And we can't be so lax on that, because that's a matter of national security. The founders understood that. They understood that quite well. Here they are in the midst of a revolution. They're fighting Great Britain. They're having to deal with the Spanish down south. That's another part of American history that people don't really talk about, but that happened. We had all these failed negotiations in the 19th century with Spain. Mentioned this before, the Bonnie Blue flag came about because you had these colonists in the short-lived Republic of West Florida, or they wanted to have this republic called the Republic of West Florida. It was short-lived. It lasted about 3 months or 90 days. And they had asked the U.S. government to recognize them as a colony. U.S. government refused because the U.S. government at the time did not want to get into a war with Spain. So these settlers declared their independence from Spanish rule because that area was controlled by the Spanish, those waterways. And they raised the Bonnie Blue flag, a blue flag with one star. Hurrah for Southern rights, hurrah. There would be no Confederate battle flag. In fact, you can make the argument there would be no South had it not been for that incident. You know, Southerners have, I don't know, growing up in the South, we have an independent streak. We just do. It's a different mindset. We want to rule ourselves. But getting back to this issue at hand here, Nick Fuentes. So what if the guy has extreme views? And so what if Tucker Carlson is interviewing him? Applaud Tucker Carlson for that. Because at least he has the balls to do it. He's willing to take a chance. And because of that, he's got over 4 million views on that video alone here on YouTube. Fox News, where you at? I can guarantee you, if Fox News interviewed Nick Fuentes, or NBC, or CBS, or ABC, you take your pick, ratings would go through the roof. But no, we don't want to do that. You see, because we got to play it safe. Because I'm a liberal, I'm a conservative. No. Well, guess what? You're all full of crap. You see, people are looking through, they're looking through all the BS here, and they're looking for authenticity. That's what they want. They want authenticity. Be real with people. So, in a way, I kind of agree with Nick Fuentes in the sense that here I am doing this YouTube channel. Getting tongue-tied here. And I'm doing it my way with the resources that I have. And I'm having a blast. I'm having a lot of fun doing this channel because I love doing this. Maybe I don't have as many followers as Nick Fuentes or Tucker Carlson. I'm not worried about that. I'm me. This is what I do. This idea of preserving great art, music, history, and culture. We talk about censorship. Maybe I should make this a video about censorship. But if you're going to claim to be conservative or a liberal, and you stand behind the First Amendment now, then don't go out there toppling Confederate statues. Don't blacklist people like Nick Fuentes because you may not agree with what he has to say. Let him say what he wants to say. And then you can debate him here, there, or on Fox News, NBC News, you name it. But I can guarantee you, if more of these news outlets would interview this guy, your ratings would go through the roof. Imagine the amount of sponsors you could get. But no, again, they want to play it safe. Well, I'm not into playing it safe. I'm into playing it real. Let's play it real, people. Let's play it real. So way to go for Tucker Carlson. Round of applause to Tucker Carlson for having the balls to sit down and interview Nick Fuentes. So tell me what you think in the comments section below. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, you know what to do. You can find me at Instagram, hashtag Jason Composes, because I write music in my spare time. Go to X, Culture Confederacy at Culture Confed 1 on X. Now you can find me at Substack. So this is the Culture Confederacy saying peace out. Stay safe, everybody. God bless this thing called the United States. I'll catch you next time. Keep up the culture, and y'all have a great Thursday. Take care.